with airplane peanuts.
It was New York. And then in the 70s, that's when the Tonight Show moved out to the West Coast. So it was this new frontier. And I feel that that's what Austin is right now.
We just got Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker to live here, who are two of, by far, the funniest people in the world right now.
Well, people moved out, like Rogan moved out here. He built a club. You're building a community.
Yeah.
You know, an artistic community.
And there's something for everybody.
Ever since Joe Rogan set up shop in Austin, Texas 4 years ago, the comedy capital debate that was once solely between New York and Los Angeles has expanded into a three-city match. And from an outside point of view, it seems like Austin is picking up steam while Los Angeles slowly fades. But where do comedians think the comedy capital truly lies?
What city is the true comedy capital of the world right now, in your opinion?
Oh, God, I hate you're setting that up as if it's supposed to be Austin.
When you talk about comedy capital, that's a subjective, because in Austin, we're 300. It's not a lot of us, but all of us that are there are mighty. But when it comes to stage time and being able to get on the most stages, you have to say New York. We doing our thing down there in Austin, baby. Thank you to Joe Rogan and all the other comedy clubs. You know, you got Sunset Strip, me and my boy Nick Franceschini, we just bought a club called Poor Choices. We're going to start doing comedy upstairs.
What city is the true comedy capital of the world right now, in your opinion?
New York always will be. It's always New York. It doesn't make a difference how good Austin's doing right now. It's a great place, but New York is diverse, whereas Austin is all the same one comic. Nothing against them. That's the bro comic fucking works. You know what I mean? It's I love it. Dude. I think Shane Gillis is the fucking funniest dude in the world. And then there's just a bunch of offshoots of him.
Tim Bartley, what is the true comedy capital of the United States?
It's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's no doubt about it. There's no second place, dude.
Everyone keeps saying that.
I mean, obviously, do you have like higher levels of talent in other places in higher concentrations? Yeah, but think about all the fucking whack shit that they pack in with it, dude. Philly's just number one as far as density and quality. Sorry, that's it.
For sure.
Ride for my boys, what's up?
You know what? I'm going to just be a dickhead and go, Toronto.
Our last two responses have been Philly and Toronto. I think people are tired of hearing about Austin. Is the LA scene really as in despair as people make it out to be?
I mean, you know, I moved to LA when I was 19, bro. And LA has always been home to me. Down there in Austin, we got Adam Egget, we got Curtis, we got all the people from the Comedy Store that made the Comedy Store magical. We got them down there in Austin because the Comedy Store has always been, you know, number one in LA. When you take that dream team away, I think it hurts a little bit. It's like when Cleveland lost LeBron and Kyrie Irving. It's like, all right, we got to rebuild. But I think LA will always be LA, and New York will always be New York. And Austin, we are up there. We are really up there, bro. We're small, but we're mighty.
What city is the true comedy capital of the world right now?
You want to see comedy like fucking Catapult, or you want to say like the one with the best fucking times?
Give us both.
Austin's the comedy capital where Rogan built this club there. Any given night you can walk in a 16-block radius and hit 40 clubs. It's cool. Anywhere you can get on. Open micers, anybody. But let me tell you something. Tampa is a good time. But I tell you something, Scottsdale, Arizona, that's the closest a man can come in to seeing God on earth, okay? Everyone's attractive, all right? Even the guys, and I'm not even fucking gay. They all got money, they all got fake titties. Pussy tastes like salmonella, and it's fucking incredible. You hear me? Incredible.
Shout out Scottsdale, Arizona. Shout out Uncle Laser. Thank you so much for your time today, buddy. The Austin comedy scene as a whole has been exploding, obviously, over the past few years. As being a part of that, a key component in that, where do you see the Austin comedy scene 20 years from now?
Honestly, I think people are going to look back to now as the beginning of something. I think just comedy in general is changing right now because the culture is shifting so rapidly, and that's so much about what comedy is relevant. And I think you're going to see here in the next 4 or 5 years, like, all that bullshit gonna get put to the wayside, and the real shit is gonna shine through.
What do you think about what's going on in Austin right now, kind of becoming a third city?
I mean, I love all these other scenes coming up. It's always, to me, I'm so old school that it just shocks me that these smaller towns, and Austin's a good sized city, but can I'm still can't wrap my mind around how much comedy people want to consume in the world right now. It was so not popular when I started that I still don't really understand. Like, wow, the amount of tickets that are selling everywhere is crazy. I don't know how long Austin can really support all these clubs and all these things. I mean, at the same time, are there enough people there? Is it enough of a tourist destination to do that? I've been to the Mothership. It's a very beautiful club, and I think that's it's really cool. But also there, I feel like I love it, but there needs to be more bigger comics coming there. They need a deeper bench, is what I would say. Either they got to bring up some of the locals, or some bigger people need to move there. Because you look at it and there's great comics, but it seems to be like the same few comics every week, unless there's a big guest coming through, and a lot of times there are. But I just think to run a showcase show where there's local, I mean, man, people love Joe Rogan and they'll see Joe Rogan every night of the week. And I guess he can sustain it, but it would be cool if it became, truly like these other cities. Any night of the week, you're seeing like 6 headliners, which would be great. And right now it's mostly, it's Brian Simpson, it's Tony Hinchcliffe, it's Joe Rogan, and it's Ron White, and hopefully Tom or Christina are in town too. You know what I mean? Those like the fact that I can name the comics who are going to be there at any given night. So I think it's a beautiful club. I think he's done a lot to really make it a comics comedy club, and I just wish the bench was deeper and more comics will move out there. Those comics I mentioned, amazing comics. And you could see them any night. Did I mention Ron White's there? Yeah. Like those are great comics to see all the time. But it would be cool if there was even a larger community of comics to support that club.
I'm super thrilled that Austin is doing as well as it is, and that people keep moving. Comedians all the time are either moving to Austin, or when I talk to them, they're like, I'm thinking about moving to Austin. So obviously, like, the appeal is there. People are attracted to the city. And I mean, it's great for us. It's great for us as comedians, as podcasters.
The Comedy Cellar, the Comedy Store, and now the Mothership. Out of those 3 clubs, what makes the Comedy Cellar number 1 in your opinion?
So funny, man. I performed in all 3 clubs in the last week. So it's very funny to see the difference in them. Yeah. And they're truly, I mean, the Comedy Store is also one of my favorite clubs on earth. And it was my first time at the Mothership, which is truly an incredible experience. I think with the Cellar, it's just like, again, man, they got 4 rooms. They do 80 shows a week. When you sell out every single show a week, and it's just, and also like New York City comedy. I mean, there's so much competition. There's so many other options for comedy in that city that it really does feel like it's kind of like there's a reason that Chappelle and Rock and Ray Romano and all the, these famous comics are constantly going there. There's a bit of magic to that club.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, they have way more competition than, for sure, the Mothership and the Comedy Store as well. And they're still putting up, all those sold out numbers. That makes a lot of sense. You're in Seattle. Was that always a plan to end up in LA or New York?
Kind of. I think every comic reaches that crossroads, a couple of years into it, where you're like, okay, do I go to New York or LA? Yeah. It's funny that like Austin is an option now, whereas before that wasn't.
You got a lot of people coming in from Florida to Austin. What is that like? Everyone kind of following your footsteps and expecting you to take them to the promised land in this new comedy mecca.
I mean, it's cool. I just like to show people like that. I think it's really funny. Like if you want to come out here, it's stage time. Ain't no greenness in my heart. You know what I'm saying? This place changed my life. So I would like other people that I'm really cool with, or I think is very funny. You know what I'm saying? The part too. You feel me? Because it's so much stage time. Ain't gonna hurt me to have a home, but I'm cool with on the show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's so much shit going on.
So you've been able to spend some more time in Austin since we last spoke, make some more appearances on the show. How has this crazy Kill Tony ride been for you since the last appearance that you've made on Joke World?
Yeah, it's been so much fun. I've met so many cool people, and I've done a lot of cool things. Like I said, I got to go and do my first theaters with Tony, and that's an experience I'll never forget.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.